When you're creating your characters, there's so much conflicting advice out there. How do you decide what to listen to and what to just throw away? I'm going to go through some of the more common, well, frankly, bad character advice I've heard and tell you what I think you should be doing instead. I've created a lot of characters over the course of my career. I've written a whole lot of books, and I learned a lot about what worked for me and what didn't. And this channel is all about sharing those lessons and helping you overcome the 10 rejections in 8 years that I got, so that you can get to a great book a lot faster than I did. So the number one piece of advice that I've heard a lot is that you should plan the characters in depth before you start writing your book. Some of these templates out there are asking for the character's height and weight and eye color and favorite hairstyle and astrological sign. Only character that I remember out of the thousands of books I've read over the course of my life whose weight was actually a factor was in Bridget Jones's diary, because she put it at the top of every single diary entry. But honestly, I can't even tell you the eye color, the height, or the weight of the character in the book that I'm reading right now, and I'm really enjoying that book. Because what matters with character doesn't come from their height or their eye color. It comes from what's in here, what they've been through, what they've overcome. The other advice I hear all the time is that the characters must be bigger than life, must be bigger and better than ordinary people. What readers really relate to is not the character's superpowers. They relate to an ordinary person overcoming extraordinary circumstances. Shazam, for example, is mostly about an ordinary kid looking for family and his place in the world. The superpowers are just a part of that plot. Same thing with Harry Potter. What I related to with Harry Potter is his struggle to find acceptance and family and his place in the world. The magic was like icing on the cake. It was an extra part to the books that made them unique, but what carried me through the entire Harry Potter series was Harry and relating to him as a person. The other thing I've heard is that the character has got to have a lot of quirks. And yes, quirks are fun. And yes, quirks can make a character a little bit different from other characters. But you don't want to go overboard with that, because then your character just looks very odd. Even in The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon's quirks are not the main plot. The main plot is about the relationship between the characters and them stepping out of their comfort zones, getting close to each other, overcoming obstacles, overcoming challenges that they face. So yes, have some quirks if you want them, but remember that they are not the main plot. The fourth piece of advice I've heard that almost hits the mark is that you must know the character's personality. Yes, but I think it is more important to know what is in the character's history that has created the way that they react to situations and the way that they act. So when you know your character's history, that is what gives you a really rich, layered character, because you can predict how they will act and react based on what they have been through in the past. When you know that, you should also know the character's strengths and weaknesses. When they're too perfect, people don't relate to them. Remember that one kid in school that was like super perfect, always the best hair, was always dating the prettiest girl, had the best grades, went into the best college? And then you find out that behind the scenes, nothing was not that perfect. That's what we want for our characters. They can maybe look outwardly perfect, but you as the author and the reader should know that this character is hiding a lot of insecurities and doubts, because that's what makes them relatable. That's what makes us care about them. Other piece of advice that I hear all the time, and it relates to basically every part of writing a book, is that the more you plan, the easier it will be to write the book. I got to caution against that, because a lot of writers get stuck in the planning process. I cannot tell you how many people I have talked to who have spent 2 years planning their book, or 10 years planning their book, or they wrote one chapter and then decided to plan the book for years and years and years and didn't write another word. Nothing teaches you how to write a book like actually writing a book from beginning to end, and then writing another one and another one and another one. It's sort of like learning any skill. The first time you get out on the basketball court, you are not going to be an NBA player. Sorry if that was your dream. But the more you practice, the more you observe, the more you learn from other players, the more you learn from professional coaching, is how people get from the basketball hoop at the end of the cul-de-sac to the NBA. Plus, there's also an element of talent in there. Education in how to write a book comes from writing a book. I can't stress that enough. You actually have to get from once upon a time to the end, and it will teach you a lot. It will also teach you what process works better for you. When I first started out and I was rejected everywhere, I used to write an outline, and I would have this really detailed outline because I was told that's what you should do. Plan it out. And then it stifled every bit of creativity that I had, and I didn't care about the book anymore. The books were flat and unexciting because all of the fun of the creativity have been taken out of it for me. When you truly get deep inside your gut, which is hard to do, I'm not saying this is an easy thing, but when you truly pull from your own life experiences and fears and anxieties and doubts, you create characters that sometimes surprise you on the page. What I like to do is go in with just a framework, an overarching plot, and then I let the characters tell me what's going to happen next by letting their fears and doubts and past history create their reactions so that their weaknesses keep making everything worse and then their strengths save the day. That way I'm not bound to a plan and I can let the characters bloom on the page. And that's what you really want, so that your characters become real and relatable. If you want to know my process for creating characters, how to create ones that leap off the page and live in the reader's heart, then watch this video right here, because it will put you on the right path for amazing characters.